This is Love Talk, and I am Samantha-Jayne Love, the hostess with the mostest, and this is the place where you get to learn love, what it actually is, and how to express it in the world. That is what I'm passionate about, and this is why we are here. I am so excited today. I have the beautiful Ness Tomlinson on as our guest today. Hi, Ness. How are you?
Hello. Good, thank you. It's great to be here. Hope everyone's well.
Yes. So Ness is from Bustleton. That's right, isn't it? Bustleton in WA. Explain to people where that is because not many people know.
All right. If I say Margaret River, have you heard of Margaret River?
I know Margaret River.
Yes. Well, we're just before Margaret River, about 45 minutes towards Perth. So we're sort of, the boot of Western Australia. If you look down and it's got like that sort of boot.
Oh, yeah.
That's Bustleton. We're right on the tip of there. So
there you go.
A bit cold this morning down here, down in the south.
Yeah, it's definitely cold here in Ballarat as well. So it wasn't as icy as Monday when I was running down the road taking my bins out. Classic.
Oh, that would have been funny.
It was very funny because I just had my robe and my socks on.
Awesome.
Even as spiritually enlightened as we get and as much work that we do on ourselves, we still end up in the 3D reality, running down the road with socks on.
Yes, living in normality.
So Ness, let's talk about you. So Ness here is she's a spiritual life purpose life coach. And we were talking earlier, we've known each other on the internet for, what's that, 18 months isn't it? Yeah, about that. And we were talking about what it was like when you're growing up and you have natural gifts or abilities, as we say, and that, back in our day, there wasn't much to help us. No. So we had to sort of struggle through or put things aside and just do what we did until there was that moment where we fell back into our gifts. Tell us about your expressing into your gifts, Ness.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was always different, and I've always had people come up to me, even in my, from when they knew me as a teenager, saying, "Oh, Ness, you're always different. Like, where did you get into all this woo-woo stuff?" And I said, well, it was just there. And when I was, from 12 to probably 19, 20, I was tapping into the Ouija board and tuning into spirit like that. But I didn't know the extent of what I was dabbling into. And now I look back and I go, wow, that was just kind of like the beginning of it. But I reckon, Sam, when I was about in my late 20s is when spirit really channeled to me and the angels really came to me and said, look, this is time for you to start working on your gift. And I'm like, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. I'd just done what I'd done, and I've been playing with tarot cards and things like and oracle cards for quite some time. But I didn't really know the extent of my gift, and until I just started reading the cards and doing it for friends, and the next minute I'm being channeled. And I honestly to this day can say to you 21 years later that I don't know where the information comes from. I feel it, I hear it, I know it, I see it. I can even smell it and taste it sometimes. And I just don't know where it all comes from, but the divine has connected me. So, I've had an interesting journey, a lot of judgment, and a lot of worry about what people think about me doing this. But, as we're around it now, it's everywhere. Spirituality is on TV. There's, movies and TV series about it all the time. So it's becoming very, very common. And a lot of people are starting to awaken spiritually as well, which is really interesting.
Yeah, it is. We're in definite interesting times at the moment because I remember back in high school, there was a few, like they were, any of the people delving into witchcraft or anything, it was a little bit of you're on over there. You're almost in the same sort of crew with the emos and the goths and everyone. So it's quite interesting how so many teenagers are really tapping into the spirituality, and lots of them are, when it's birthday time, it's oracle cards and crystals that they're gifting each other, which is amazing. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's such a gift to see that the kids are so drawn to this, and it is so grounding and so good for you as well. To be enlightened by spirit is just beautiful to see. Well, I know I've got a 20-year-old daughter, but she's not into my sort of stuff just yet.
It's because it's mum's stuff and mum's dodgy.
Yeah, mum's not cool. Mum doesn't fit into this criteria.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, yes. I've got all of my crystal crowns. My girls are like, I'm just gonna get a crown, but they're 3 and 5, so mummy's still cool in their eyes.
I bet. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty amazing how watching them, and just being able to go. Like even this morning, my husband and I were having a bit of a discussion, a mummy and daddy discussion, and she just out of nowhere, because spirit goes to her and she's like, just shut up. Like, just stop it. Like, you're going around in circles. It's just shut up. So it's beautiful to watch it coming through in that next generation, how that's going to unfold. And really they're gifting us gifts as well of how to use it. And I love that how you say that you don't need to know where your the knowledge is coming from. It's just a message and you're just literally filtering it through. I just love that, because there's a lot of people out there, and it's it's okay, everyone's got the way that they do it, but the not knowing and the trust that you have, like it's really inspiring to go, all right, well, we don't have to know. It just really trust, open our heart and just say the message, and it's going to resonate however it resonates for that person.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? A lot of people say to me, so where does the information come from? Like, how do you just know all that? And I'll just go, I'd say it's your higher self and your spiritual counsel and your guides that are with you telling me. But how I know, I don't know. It just comes to me. And it's interesting that so many people say to me, like, how do you know? Well, it's for your greater good, and that's the information that your higher self wants you to know. So, yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it, when you really delve deep into it, like, that whole question, like, how do you know that it's true? Well, the thing is, that person that you're connecting to is giving me confirmation, and sometimes I've never met them. So, it just comes through. It's an amazing feeling, I can tell you.
Yeah. And I've watched Ness in... She does a Tuesday night reading, and it's really different than some other people. So Ness actually makes you work for your reading. So it's the way that she brings out your natural innate ability, and so she does cards on a Tuesday night. And if you want a reading, you have to guess the crystal generally, isn't it?
The color crystal.
Yeah. So it's really quite fascinating to see how some people will just take a pot guess and have a go, and other people will really innately tap in and get the actual crystal, which is really fascinating to watch that, to get them to go, it's an actual, it looks like this. And even if they don't have their crystal knowledge, they can really describe the type of crystal. So, it's really beautiful.
People, if they just trust and their guidance, and it really does just come from intuition, from that solar plexus, if that is open and working to its full extent, then your intuition is there and you can fully trust it. It's an amazing gift to have, really, just to be able to say, okay, what color crystal am I holding in my hand? And someone will randomly pop up pink, and that's right. Do you know what I mean? And it could be on the other side of the country or the other side of the world, and just naturally tuning into that just lets people know that they have a gift. and if
Yeah.
they trust in themselves, amazing things that they can do, you know.
Yeah, and that's the way that we teach and we lead and we show, it's about showing people as well and living by example. And I really feel that that's exactly what you do with all the things that you do. So we talked about you being a purpose life or a spiritual purpose life coach. How does that process happen, and what would be your top tips for someone who is looking at expanding their inner knowing?
Their intuition and their spiritual stuff. Okay, so being a spiritual life coach, I help people figure out their purpose. And I sort of believe that spirit brings us together. That, you know, they get that contract somewhere in spirit world where they're connected to come to me. And a lot of the time, it's for me to guide them and remove that fear. And I have so many people come to me going, you know, I'm really unhappy in my job and I really don't know what to do next. And I'll go, you're interested in all of this stuff, aren't you? Your higher self's told me that they've been trying to give you synchronicity or signs for such a long
Yeah.
time to, you know, start working with people. And it's just awesome to be able to reach them on that point, because I am a qualified career coach.
Yeah.
And working alongside the amazing Archangel Michael, who isn't just a protector and a guide and gives you courage and strength, but he's also a career coach. So I feel like he steps in and guides me at that moment when that person comes through, and I can feel that they're really tuning in into wanting to open up their spirituality or move into doing this for a business. And I sort of look at it as, Sam, I'm putting them and helping them recruit into their light working or spiritual journey, if you
Oh,
want
I
to
love
call
that.
it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because Michael steps in and, you know, he gives me all the tools and tells me what to say and exactly where you're supposed to be. And I have some people go, oh, I don't think that I'm spiritual, you know, and and I'm like, but you're here. Like, you must be
Yeah.
open to it, you know. And I mean, I've had people come to my Oracle retreats and they say to me, oh, I don't know if I actually want to read cards. I'm here with my friend, or I just was interested in see what it was all about. And it's
Yeah.
great to see that growth at the end of that retreat. They're coming back and saying, I know how to read cards. I actually think I want to do this. This could really help me help other people. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people are blindsided. They come in thinking, oh, maybe I could help people. But something in them after their conversation, I help them remove that fear and
Yeah.
that self-sabotage, that block that's in their way, and help them see the reality of what they could be doing instead of worrying about what they can't be doing because they might cock it up or they might do something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, to
Totally.
me,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just so beautiful to see that extent, someone having a session or doing something with me, coming out going, I actually really want to do this now. I want to help people. And that's to me what it is all about, Samantha. It's like coming through that light at the end of the tunnel. And a lot of people say to me, oh, I'm not ready yet because I'm not healed. Well, the best thing that you can give yourself is get started, because whatever
Yeah.
message or flow that comes through healing, Spirit's going to guide you. So you could be delivering a message or giving a healing and you're getting something back for yourself. And that will actually help you heal. And yeah, so, you know, if you really want to be enlightened, trust it. Your best start in life is to listen to your guidance, listen to your high self, tune into that, work with your solar plexus and your third eye, and really start to develop that. And that's all about creating that and just trusting that Spirit will have your back. And I always say, would I be sitting in this seat today if I was worried about fear or worried about my financial situation? Because why I do it is I do it because I love it. You know, that's what makes my heart sing. And if you want to feel the same and you've been thinking about it for such a long time, it just reminds them that there is a better place to be and I can feel this, you know. So it's just about you trusting in yourself. Really, all the
Yeah.
answers are there. And I mean, like yourself, Sam, you know, You wouldn't be sitting here if you weren't spiritually guided somewhere along the line from your higher self or the synchronicity and the signs that spirit places in your path. So, yeah, that's how I look at it, is trusting, letting Michael come in, and Michael will tell me this is what they're supposed to be doing. I still get people come back to me 12 months later and say, I'm on my spiritual path. Can you help me with that now? And it's just so beautiful to see the growth, and that's why I do it.
Yeah, and I think sometimes too when we're looking at a career change, because, you know, some people are caught in corporate or they're caught in, you know, hospitality or wherever they've started their life, and they're like, have this calling, and they'll show up with you or whoever they come to see. And I think they go, all right, I'm going to flip this switch and I'm going to be spiritual, and it's all going to be on this silver platter, and I'm going to be fixed, and it's going to be amazing, and I won't have to do any more work on myself. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think that may have been me. I think it may have been me at one point.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've just done this little course, and I think I'm really good. I've got all of my stuff together. I'm self-aware. My self-love's good. I'm really tapped in with the angels and everybody. And then something happens, and Jen, you know, our beautiful, you know, way we are here in Australia, the tall poppy, and as soon as you're beaming your light, someone goes, oh, no, we can't do that. Yeah, that can't be a job.
That can't be a job.
That can't be your job. What do you really do? No, I actually talk with angels and spirit, and talk with, you know, Archangel Michael, and we do things. No, but what do you actually do? Yeah, so that is a thing. It's about taking the small spiritual steps, and, you know, it's not a brick or a silver platter that wakes you up, or hopefully not a brick, because they're those big life epiphany sort of moments. We're trying to guide people to not have those anymore. The fatal car accidents, or I'm almost killed myself doing X, Y, and Z. We want to be able to wake people up before they get to that point. And I've heard some brilliant things about. I have not done your Oracle card course yet, but I have heard only beautiful things from people. And actually, one of our friends was doing Oracle cards because she went through your course, and she didn't believe in her. In her gifts. Miss Shayla Renee has been on Love Talk as well, and she's doing amazing things. And, you know, just the way that her spiritual counsel comes through, and the way that, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, Archangel Michael, or it doesn't have to be a nun, or it doesn't have to be Isis or whatever. She's got her uncle and somebody else, and I'm just like, we were in hysterics when she was telling me about who her counsel is, and it's the people that give her messages. So it doesn't have to be, it does come back to just trusting that whatever is getting said to you, smell, the olfactory, the taste. Sometimes the taste and the olfactory can go away when it's not so good.
Yeah.
But just however, through all of your senses, the messages are coming through, just to trust. Yes. And I know that word is thrown around a lot in our industry, let's say.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. How would you describe the best way to, you know, because that's a big thing, especially if people have come from different backgrounds where it's been unsafe for them. So how would you say to trust?
Okay. Well, I guess it's to trust is to believe and trust in yourself and acknowledge the worth in yourself. And that comes with self-care. That comes with meditation. That comes with grounding yourself regularly outside and just going outside and connecting with nature, but also taking your shoes off. And if you can be still for just a few moments, you might actually hear, or you might actually get a feeling. You know, not everybody hears things. Not everybody feels things. You might just get tingling. You might get, you know, a sign. you know, like the wind on your face, and you can trust whatever that is. Because if it's you, I always say to people, they go, how do I know how to trust? Well, do you believe that message was for you? Do you feel it so heartedly in your body that you're getting confirmation somewhere? And they're like, well, yeah. And I said, well, this is your guidance. This is your ability to open that door. This is you. You just need to listen and feel into that. And that's how we trust. It's like you get a sensation when you walk into a room and you see like handfuls of people there and you're drawn to a particular person, but there's certain people that you won't go to. That in yourself is your body and your intuition saying to you, and you're reading their energy, believe it or not, because you're reading them. You're actually feeling into that, and you're going, oh, I don't feel connected to that person, but I really feel connected to that one. Really trust that. Really feel into that, because your intuition and your senses are already there. It's about stopping for that moment and really feeling and checking in. And you'll get that confirmation. Like I say, it could be a feeling in your stomach. It could be, yeah, go for it. You know, your higher self or your spiritual team has come forward and said, go for it. Or something within you gives you goosebumps. You know, all of those things are all signs of confirmation. And you can, if you're worried about it, pull out your pendulum, get an energy shift. You know, do I need to trust this situation? Am I on the right path? If your pendulum works and says, yeah, you're on the right path, believe that, because that is your guidance, and that is, you know, spirit working with you, helping you feel into that beautiful journey. So to me, taking time out, slowing down, feeling into that ability and going with it.
So for all those listeners that are like, what is this pendulum? And please tell me more about this thing and how do I use this?
Well, this is an amazing thing.
The other way.
There we go. I'm looking at you and not at the camera.
Is that an amethyst one?
Yes, this is an amethyst, and I bought this at a little bit of a market, and I was guided to get a pendulum. And I was actually going to go for a rose quartz one, but this one, the more I touched it, the more I got a feeling from it, Sam. So it was kind of like, got to work with this. Now, everyone works with the pendulum differently, but the way I do it is I get an energy shift, and I show when I tune into the pendulum, show me what a yes is. And usually my pendulum will go clockwise. And if I say, show me what a no is, it'll go anti-clockwise. Whether I get no outcome, it'll just swing back and forth. Now, a pendulum to me is basically a tool to give you the answers to your yes and no questions. So you can use your pendulum. A lot of people use just something hanging on their necklace, or these amazing dowsing rods that you can buy. But it's very much so just to show you that you're on the right track. And I sometimes use the pendulum when I'm tuning into somebody's energy before they come in, is what I'm guided and feeling. And if I'm feeling like I need to make sure that I'm on the right track, I'll ask the pendulum to show me. So the pendulum really is a tool to give you extra guidance. A lot of people use the pendulum through meters. You know, I know that Cherie's Healing Hands, she uses her pendulum to show her what level someone's healing capacity is at. And everyone uses them differently. But that's what I use my pendulum for, is to give me the confirmation of tuning into someone's energy.
Beautiful.
Or, you know, whatever I want to tune into, but then more of a yes or no question. And I pulled it out a couple of times on my lives, and sort of explaining that to people has been really hard, because I'll go, oh, I want to know this. And I'll go, oh, but you've got to give me a yes or no question, because the pendulum can't answer. So it's either a yes or a no. So, they're an amazing tool to actually bring into your service if you need something for extra confirmation.
Yeah, and it sort of takes you out of your head as well. So it's something outside of, you know, your being. It's something outside of here. But it's also having that, I'm going to use that T word again, trust as well, that what you are getting. So my yes and no is totally different. So my no is normally backwards and forwards, and my yes is generally anti-clockwise. So that's just what happens for me. So, yeah.
And that's exactly it. It works differently for everybody. I've got a friend who tunes hers and yes is up and down, so it sort of moves that back and forth, and
Yeah.
no is sideways. So, you know, it works differently to your frequency and your energy, and you
Totally.
then, you know, learn to trust that. So same thing, you can trust a situation where you're walking into that room. The same thing with your pendulum.
Totally. Awesome. So, Ness, is there anything else that you would like to share with the listeners at home or the viewers at home?
Okay, if you are, I guess, thinking about connecting to your spiritual journey, or you've been guided to move forward and do something that makes your heart sing, is trust in that ability, that if you're feeling that you're on that path and there's something pulling you towards that, listen to that. Even if you want to start small, is, you know, learning to meditate, learning to then develop that trust through meditation and working with finding out who your spiritual team is, your counsel, those people that are with you. It's really having that ability to trust. And if you want to start, don't be afraid, because the way I look at it, if you can help somebody, just one person, with what you do, then it's better to try and give it your best shot than not to give it a go at all. And that's what it's about. And, you know, each and every day, my dad is one of my guides because he's passed over as well. And a lot of people do say to me is, you know, like when they lose someone that they love as well, is, you know, I don't know how to deal with it. And I actually teach them how to tune into that person that's passed over. And that actually gives them that ability to know that they have a gift. And maybe not anyone else in that family can connect on that level with that person. And like the relationship that I now have with my dad, it's not father and daughter, it's guide and you know, friend, or I'm the student, whatever is for him. But now he's kind of taken that leap of faith to be able to help me on a spiritual level. And that is the best gift that I think anyone can have. And as hard as it is losing someone that you love in that physical construct, but on a spiritual sense, it changes it for everything and everyone within that space. So learning to have a relationship with them spiritually can actually change so much for you. So it is trusting that you can do it, and everyone can.
Beautiful. That would be really, it would be really helpful for grief as well, to know that that person is still really with you and to be able to tap in. So I know that I've been watching a few people with grief at the moment, and I know that my great grandmother is on my council as well. So that's quite very, very demanding on my council.
They don't have to be.
Oh no, she's just like, well, it's about time. Like when I first saw it, it's about time. Come on, get on with this. And just that she was always. I just have these fond memories of her when I was little, and she was always bubbly, and she's like 4 foot nothing really, and just always on the go. And yeah, it's just, she still has that. Come on, let's do this. Let's, you know,
move you forward. And that's the gift that you have, you know. We're so blessed, you know. And don't hold on to the grief anymore. That's it, Sam, is because you never know what can come from that. And I was all woo-woo before my dad even passed over, and I can tell you now, he was like, before he passed, it was all crock. It was all a crock. There was nothing real about it. And then he goes, this stuff is real. Why didn't I never believe it? So yeah, it changes everything.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Ness. It has been a beautiful experience. And if anyone would like to experience the Oracle card course with you, or just to learn, just to have a session and see what it is like to experience that, going through that trust and tapping into maybe your soul connection or your counsel, please get in contact with Ness. We will put all the details down below. She is absolutely amazing. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much for having me. So
Yay.
get in touch if you want to come and have a session, or I do it online and face-to-face. So yeah, let's work through that.
Beautiful. And thank you everyone for listening and watching us. This is Samantha-Jayne Love. This is Love Talk, where we get to teach you that love is more than just an intimate thing that you have with your partner. Love is the passion that you take through every single day. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.